And welcome back. Today we are flying out the Vautour 2N, and you might be reading this title and saying to yourself, what the shit are you on about? Let me tell you, this thing is an absolute animal. The flight model is bugged, you fly it like a rat, it handles like a whale, and you have the game presence of a dead frog. This thing is atrociously bad, and if you have flown the other Vautours, you know it's not the best airframe, definitely not 7.7 material, but considering this thing has an all-flying tail, it should turn a little bit better than the Vautour 2A that we have in the game. However, the all-flying tail only works half, like 50% pitch basically, and it feels like you're flying around with a crit tail at all times. This thing does not turn whatsoever. If it had the flight model of the other Vautours, it still wouldn't be great, but it would be okay. At 8.7 with these missiles it would be kind of funny, it would be gimmicky, not great, but it would at least be flyable. How it is currently, you can barely dodge an AIM-9B if it's shot at you and you're not pre-turning it already. But I wasn't actually going to make a video on this thing, and then I saw Spitfire made a video. He didn't notice anything about the elevator being bugged. Looking at the footage, it definitely looked like it didn't turn whatsoever. But you never know what someone is doing. I don't know if he's using full turn, maybe he's tapping the elevator key. I don't know what he's doing, but it didn't look that bad. And then he said, there's not a plane you will go 5-1 in, and I said bet. So here we are with a 8-1 with 3.2 kills per match. Pretty stupid, but there's also a sample size of only 5 games. So if I'm gonna keep flying this thing, will I be able to maintain that? Hell no, it's not gonna happen, but still, this thing really indicates to me that people have no idea what they're doing at this BR. I shouldn't be getting any kills in this, because even IL-28s, and you'll see this later on, don't really have much issue dodging these missiles. They do have some issues dodging these hands, because they are going pretty slow, and I can spray them with 4 IINs. And yes, it's 4, not 2. And as we are doing the biggest loop of the entire universe, thank you to all the Patreons and to everyone looking to buy anything from the Convergence store. Link in the description will bring you a discount. No decal yet, we're working on it, and I'm really getting sick of saying it, but again, I am obliged to do so. So, SU-25 behind us, we already missiled someone in the first merge, and then we flew away from the MiG-21, because we are not going to be even trying to reverse that. Again, if I had a working elevator, maybe I would have. I'm running 3 R511s, and I'm using 1 North 20. The North 20, it's the manual guided one, because sometimes you are just not able to actually get a lock on people. SU-25 is running down the FJ4, but the FJ4 should be outrunning him, so I'm going to shoot a North 20 at him. We're going to be guiding it in, and then as the missile is getting close, the FJ4 thinks to himself, what can I do to make this as hard as humanly possible? We are going to start dogfighting the SU-25 just before the missile starts to connect. So we miss our North, thank you very much Mr. FJ4. We're going to try to lock him up. We're not getting a lock here. This radar is absolutely atrocious. But because this guy is completely occupied with shooting the FJ4, we can get in a third party and we hit him with our guns. Here is my first issue with this vehicle. The missiles on the left shoot first. And this is going to keep us very much unbalanced. And you can tell I'm just trying to turn normally, but because all of the missiles are on the right wing, I should probably change that with my actual missiles. I should put the North on the right side, so that that isn't an issue in the long run. So we go ahead on with the SU-25, we go up and over. The FJ4 is riding his 6 now, and we are gonna do a loop, and this is full turn. This is me hammering the elevator. I'm not even getting a G warning. This thing does really not turn whatsoever. And here we are gonna experience the range of these missiles. He is 2 kilometers ahead of us. He's not going particularly quick. He is going about 800. Maybe a little bit faster. Maybe a little bit slower actually, I mean. And that missile is not gonna reach him. So I thought to myself, well, maybe he dodged him. I can't really see him because of the clouds. He's flaring. He does see it, so maybe he just reacted to it. So I'm gonna shoot off the second one and see if that gets anywhere close. G91 dies behind us, but look at this range. This guy is barely moving, and my missile is getting nowhere near him. Luckily for us, this SU-25 is going to try to climb away from us instead of trying to dogfight, which he will win in a single turn. But he's going to go very much vertical, and at these speeds, he's actually starting to get within gun range. Even though it's 1 kilometer and I only have the DEFAs or the IINs or whatever you want to call them, I'm actually within range. So we get a first hit in, but it's an SU-25, and he's definitely not going to be dying. Then he does a straight pull, and we hit him once more. That is going to be kill number 3. And we are going to be diving out to see if we can assist with the CL-13. So we are going to be turning around. And the main issue is, I'm not sure which CL-13 that is. It could be a CL-13B. God forbid if it is one. I have a feeling it's not. And I'm not sure if CL-13B pops up on the long-range spotting. I haven't seen a CL-13B in a while. I might want to take it out soon here, because it's one of my favorite planes in the game. However, when you fight all aspect missiles, it might not be that good. So I'm going to prematurely air brake. It's 3v1. And I just want to ride this guy 6 to at least pressure him a little bit. So I'm coming in, half throttle, air brakes out. I'm going to be riding his ass. I'm going to be spraying him. I get a shot in. And because I'm so slow, I'm just going to sit behind him. And it doesn't really matter how slow I am. Or how bad I turn, I mean. Because with this kind of speed, you're not going to be reversing me. And even if you try to reverse me, these other 2 guys will absolutely eat your ass. So we are RTB. And upon takeoff, there is a Yak-38 that's about 9 kilometers ahead of us. And the issue here is that I can never show the Yak-38 my 6. He did shoot off 1 missile. I tried to ask my teammate if he shot another one, but he wouldn't reply. So I'm just going to full send it. Because if I show this guy my 6 at any point of time and he shoots that R60 off, I am dead. So this is completely suicidal. But I have the hope here that this missile will actually pull in and kill him if he doesn't see it. I mean, don't start dodging it. I have some hope still. I'm just trying to get my nose on. I'm really just delaying my stall to keep the radar locked on. And I stall out. Now, it's looking pretty nasty here. But it looks like he doesn't actually know where I am. So we pull under his nose. Quite lucky. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. And I'm just going to send it after him again. And again, the things you are seeing me do right now in this vehicle is something you should do in 0 other planes. If you can dodge, if you can reverse someone, if you have some maneuverability, don't stall yourself out in front of people. This thing is just turbo overboat. It's an absolute whale. It goes into that category where you have to play it as dumb as possible to make it work somewhat. If you use this plane like a conventional one, you are done. If you use a conventional plane like this one, I mean, also not a very great idea. So don't get yourself killed, but flying it a little bit suicidal is actually less suicidal in this thing. Because, well, your plane is absolutely horrendous. And because of the way I flew it, because I'm flying it like an absolute dumbass, I actually got on this guy's 6. And I'm now going to be pressuring him into turning. The Yak-38 is forced to turn. And I noticed him turning with the North 20. And the Yak-38 will lose a lot of speed. I'm just trying to keep this guy as slow as possible, so that my teammate can come in and actually help me. So I'm going to taunt the Yak-38 a little bit, because I am in a Vautour. In a bad Vautour even. And in the hope that he starts turning with me. Now he goes so low that I can't actually lock him, so I'm going to pretend to break off, and then the second I notice him do anything, he's going to bleed speed, and I'm going to pull back in. And look at that. Full elevator turn. 6G. I lock him up. I'm trying to get behind him. I'm below him, so I have a little bit of advantage. And luckily the Yak-38 is an absolute shitboat. A little bit like us, but just not quite as bad. He turns underneath us. And he is going to fly straight back up. And I'm going to take that with both my hands. And he is dead. He's on fire. And he is going to be bailing out. A display of skill? Definitely not. I couldn't have played that any worse if it was any other plane. But flying this thing like an absolute dumbass will probably get you further than trying to play it properly. Because if you play it properly, you are simply going to be countered. Because it's, well, 1, very predictable. And 2, it's just a shit plane. So you're better off trying to do something funny than trying to do try-hard maneuvers. So we missiled the IL-28. Just kidding, even the IL-28 can very easily dodge this thing. What I do normally, however, with the radar, I try to narrow the scope a little bit. I reel it into about 8 kilometers. These missiles don't have a very long range anyway. And that way the radar is a little bit more potent, because the radar itself is pretty damn bad. He dodges the missile, but not these hands. And he collects 4 30mm right in the center fuselage. Then I notice Frozy in his LA-174. I don't even need to try to shoot that, so I'm just gonna break off and go towards the G91. The G91 isn't really paying attention. We are at a little bit of an altitude, so I can actually lock this guy up. And all I have to do now is pay attention to behind me. And I'm trying to outrun this missile. I'm not trying to actually dodge it. I'm not trying to outturn it. I'm simply trying to drain it of energy as I'm also trying to put my nose on the G91R3 that's directly ahead of us. So we dodge the missile, barely. If a missile is within range, and it doesn't even matter if it's an R3R, if it's an AIM-9B, or if it's an AIM-9L, you are probably going to be collecting it, and you're not going to have a good time. Currently, I'm simply trying to fly away. I'm trying to see, just looking around, who can I engage? And I see Frozy dogfighting a guy, but I also see the G91 breaking off behind us. He's going to give us some room. And there's an F40 right below us. Now he's going to do a turn. He's not going to be anywhere within range. But I'm noticing this G91. And he is climbing for the Vautour, or maybe the guy that just got missiled. And we are going to try to intercept him as he is busy. A G91 that's slow, pretty easy to hit. Still very annoying, but decently easy to hit. Especially if you compare it to it being very fast and actually paying attention to us. He is paying attention to us, however a little bit too late. And he is too slow to do anything. I get my nose on, we crit him and we take half his tail out. I want to go for the Seahawk, but the F40 is going to cut me off. So I'm going to switch on over to the A28. I'm going to shoot a north at him. Just so that I have more time to look behind me, because I don't have to get as close as with guns. The only issue is the north has a proxy range for a 20 kilogram warhead missile, but it only has 8 kilograms of warhead, so it just explodes way too quickly. So we go up to dodge the missile, and this time I actually set up my radar properly. 8 kilometers, small spot range, looked at B-57, and I mean, it's a B-57, he doesn't have RWR, he has no idea this missile is coming in, unless he's directly looking at us. So I'm gonna shoot it sideways, it should be cutting him off, I'm just gonna look at him, because I fancy a nice explosion. There we go, kill number 1. Anti-bomber at the start, TU4s, B-57s, damn, that shit feels good. However, if they see it, they're still very likely to dodge it, just like that IL-28. TU4s, however, they are absolutely dead. Unfortunately, I haven't really ran into any, but, you know, it's a massive prop. It's not fast enough to dodge enough. Like, it doesn't go fast enough to actually move out of the way of the missile. The missile can just basically fly straight at it, and eventually it will die. So I'm gonna go up and over the enemy spawn, or the enemy climb pad. I'll lock up this MiG-15. He's going very, very slow. I'm gonna shoot a missile at him. And I don't think he really realizes what's going on until the very last second. But at that point, it is too late, and he gets caught by the proxy range. A4E behind us, but I'm outrunning him. I'm outside of his range. He can't really turn into us, so it should be good. F100 is showing some interest, and I'm not really feeling it right now. I'm still outrunning him, so I'm going to get a little bit more distance so that I can push ahead on from a little bit of a longer range. So I can either use my north, or I can either use my R511. Both of which is okay. I just don't want to get within range, so I want to scare him off with the missile. Maybe I can get some guns on him, but he is much more maneuverable than us. Which is kind of funny considering it's an F100. If I was in the other Vautour, I actually wouldn't really mind trying to dogfight him. One thing about the Vautour, if you try to use the flaps at high speed, they kill your turn rate. You will just fly straight. So do not try to use them at higher speeds. At low speeds, can't really comment on it too well, but it's just a shit brick. It doesn't really matter. But at high speed, definitely do not use them. F100 here is kind of pulling into us. I'm going to try to get the shot, but I'm simply not turning well enough. I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to chase after him. I should be able to get the shot here, but he just changes his flight path ever so slightly. I can't correct my nose, and I just misplaced my nose. And I can't actually do anything. At these speeds, flaps do something, but I mean, at the end of the day, this thing is an absolute shitboat, so it doesn't really matter what you do. I'm going to send it after the F100, because I have a feeling he's going to start engaging the guys in this furball. And if he does so, then I can maybe try and third party him, like the absolute rat wheel we are. So this guy is going to go to the left, so I'm going to try to cut him off. I'm going to try and drop on top of him, cut off his flight path, and you can tell that I'm getting pretty damn close. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to sit behind him, and this is why I run the A20 North. Sure, I can't lock him right now. I don't have heat seekers. But this thing will definitely hit him. So I'm just gonna guide it in. But again, too much of a proxy range. He gets crit. And he doesn't give a shit. And he's simply going to RTB. Thank you, Gaijin. We have bugged missiles as well as a bugged elevator. What isn't bugged about this plane? Probably nothing, actually. I was trying to come up with a clever joke, but I don't think there is any. This thing is just shit. So G91 pitching up below us, and I want to start turning prematurely because I'm not going to collect another AIM-9B. I'm really not feeling it. So I'm just going to pitch up into him. If he shoots the missile here, He has to lead the missile, but he can't because the AIM-9B is a caged missile. SU-7 coming in, I'm really trying to get that head-on in, but you can tell I have a real struggle getting shots in. And at the point I'm getting my nose on, it's too late for the radar, so I just shoot a north at him. At least he will try to dodge it, and if he doesn't, he might get crit. I don't know what's going to happen, but the SU-7 is turning right for me. And that's a bad thing, because if that SU-7 tries to chase me down, he will out-turn me, he will out-accelerate me, he will outrun me, he will out-climb me. You might ask, what doesn't he outdo you at? And that is having missiles and retaining energy at a full pool turn. Yeah, that's not much of a compliment considering this vehicle, but we will kill him later on. Just you wait. We go up over the match, we look around. Yak-38 wanted to go for him, but he's already on fire. There's no reason for me to get over there and try and steal that. So why bother? There's much more targets in the middle of the map, and with targets I mean... yeah, you know what I mean. It's not a target, I'm the target. And when you're flying this thing, you are definitely not the danger. You're not the one that knocks. You're the guy that's in his house just playing video games, and then someone knocks on your house and he shoots you in the head. That's what it feels like playing this thing. And the only reason I'm not modding as much as I could is because I only did 5 games and they all went reasonably well. I mean, reasonably well for whatever the shit this vehicle is. So CL-13 going vertical. I'm trying to lock him up to missile him. But it doesn't even pull into that. Look how slow he is. But we just switch the guns. Set him on fire. He instantly burns up. And we save our teammate. Keep looking around. Here comes the G91. Barely dodges shots. Barely dodges shots again. But now we're at about 900 meters. I tried to select someone, but I pressed the wrong hotkey. I don't really use it very often. I tried to mention someone. I tried to say affirmative because the guy said thank you. But I pressed the wrong key. And then I got lost in the menu. I just don't know where it is. And again, 2 missiles on the right side, very annoying, but you know, it's my own fault. I should run the North 20 on the right side. And to be honest, I'm probably better off not using a North 20 at all, but sometimes it's useful. So why not run it? The R511s are not particularly useful either. R3 is going a little bit too fast. R4 is going to present himself. I pull up a little bit, correct my aim, and down goes the G91. Then there's 2 SU-7s ahead of us. One of them is going to try and pull head on. I'm trying to lead his target, lead the turn. I mean, I just shoot a little bit too high. I missed my shot. Unlucky. And then I lead this SU-7, but I get a lock a little bit too late. And again, I can't pull my nose towards where I want it to go. So I don't even have to try and shoot. I then turn around. I see that this SU-7 is engaging our furball. And that other G91 is pretty damn slow. So I'm going to try to lock him up. I'm just trying to get a lock, but every time anyone gets near him, I'm going to get a lock on my teammate. And no, I'm not going to try and fire it. It's not going to do anyone any good. But at this point, like, hello, can I please lock the guy that's in the middle of my radar? Not the guy that's like everywhere but there, but it doesn't matter. He gets killed by someone else. We take back off. That's a lie. We extend towards their airfield. SU-7 is taking off. I still have 2 missiles left. I wait a little bit till he's a little bit closer. We shoot it off, and I'm gonna wait for that missile to collect its target. But he dodges it. Again, he doesn't dodge my hands. He gets crit, and now all I have to do is just turn after him and make sure he doesn't make it towards wherever he wants to go. But looking at his plane, I don't think that's much of an issue. We hit him again, and we hit him again. Luckily, the Defas are absolutely atrocious guns, and I have to triple tap him anyway. So then I pop a blind ton. He's on the runway, and I have 50 seconds of fuel left. And I have a feeling he's going to fly into the opposite direction. So instead of trying to pressure him, because I am going to get nowhere near him, I'm just going to RTB, get my fuel back, get my missiles back. And he does the exact same thing the second time. So I knew exactly where he was going to go. And I'm trying to cut him off. I know where he wants to go. And I know where he's headed. Those are the 2 same things, but it doesn't matter. But I'm trying to cut him off. I'm trying to get within range for a north. Because he's going pretty fast, he might notice it. And then he pulls into us. He's trying to go for a dogfight maybe. Unfortunately for him, he gets clapped by some 30mm, as well as the houses with little Timmy and Lucy in the attic. They are completely pulverized, and the SU-7 is crit. He's going to go head on with the AV-8. All I need to do now is chase up after him. And just to style on him, I'm going to use my North. So he gets dick slapped out of the air. And then I want to introduce you to the world's smartest premium area player. We have this guy that has been running from us for the entirety of this match. We have about 5 minutes of fuel left. He just took off. And again, same deal as with the Yak-38. I am not able to show my ass to him ever. I try to sneak up on him with the missiles, but he has chaff equipped as well as flares. And because of that, I might as well shoot all these missiles off, because he is just going to be chaffing them all day long. I don't have pulse Doppler. Of course I don't. I'm an 8.7 plane. But at this point, I'm just going to try to stick on him as aggressively as possible without stalling myself out. And I'm just going to be riding his ass. So I try to north him. He instantly dodges. So it's not going to be even remotely useful. I lock him up. I'm just going to shoot my other missile off because he has chaff anyway. There is no reason for me not to use it. And at this point I'm just trying to keep him turning. I try to make him panic. But he doesn't do that. This guy is simply too dense to care. So to wrap up this video, to really display how AIDS this thing is to fly, I'm just going to give you an actual one-to-one taste of what I was tasting, except you are actually able to fast forward this video. It's going to take about 6 minutes. You're not going to be missing out on much if you aren't going to watch this, so you really don't have to. But goddamn, this guy is something else. First of all, I'm just going to run it down real quick. He's in a Harrier. He still has his missiles. He just took off. He still has fuel. And I'm in a Vautour with a bugged elevator. Yeah. So thank you all for watching. Everyone that wants to continue watching this, feel free to do so. It's pretty damn dumb. Also, keep looking at the chat. My team is just as giga-brained as he is. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Negative.